This is something that happened to me when I was new in town. True story. I welcome your input. I was putting on my blue suit each day, looking for work here in a major city in a southern state. I needed a current resume. Many employers were asking for a hard copy. I had no printer, so I looked up local resume services online. I found one ad for a resume service that was nearby. When I called, he was Gary, said, "You can drop off your info and I'll have resumes tomorrow to pick up. Do you want just an original or copies?" I confirmed the address in the ad and he said, "I am on the 5th floor. There is underground parking." I drove to the address, which was a brand new building. The outside parking lot was still being blacktopped and signs were being installed. There were ladders and work vans. I found a parking space in the underground parking. It seemed odd that there were no other cars at all. But I headed for the elevator. Since I'm female and it was so deserted, I moved quickly. Here is where it gets strange. Pushing the button for the 5th floor, the elevator opened at 3, but nobody boarded. I pushed 5 again as the doors closed. This time, instead of 5, the elevator went down to ground floor parking. Again, no one boarded. I pushed 5 again. The elevator, like before, went to the 3rd floor. This time I got off for a moment, entering the hallway. I wanted to ask someone for assistance. A cold feeling washed over me. There was no one on the 3rd floor. It was deserted. Paint cans and ladders were still in the hallway. I had a strong feeling of danger, but I really needed those resumes. So I got back on the elevator. I hit 5. The elevator again went to ground floor parking. Nobody there. Why want to go to 5? And why is no one here except me? I listened to that cold feeling and walked outside. A man was installing plastic letters on a sign. I said, "Excuse me, I have an appointment on the 5th floor. The elevator only goes to 3. Is it broken?" The man stared at me. "It's not broken. But ma'am, there is no one on 5. It's under construction. The building isn't open to the public." I said, "Are you sure? Because 2100 is the address. And I just spoke to the guy." The man looks concerned. "Ma'am, it must be a prank. There is no business open on the 5th floor. Maybe you have the wrong building." No, it was the right address. The number was on the glass doors. I went back to my car. Dialing the number for Fresh Start resumes from my phone, I expected to hear the same young man's voice, maybe a secretary or voicemail. Surely I must have the wrong building? Something. But I got a recording. This number is not assigned to any customer. I got very emotional, drove away very quickly. To this day, I feel I was saved from something. I have a friend who's really into this occult kind of stuff. I don't know if she practices anything, or her habits around it. I just know she likes strange things. She likes to buy antiques, and even has an old lamp from a dead lady's house. She was a little strange, but I've known her since I was young, so that stuff didn't bother me. We stopped talking for a number of years, because we were growing up and going to different schools, but she randomly messaged me one summer and asked how I was doing. She invited me to a little get-together, and we caught up. I learned that she was sensitive to spirits and didn't think too much about it then. After spending some time with her, I invited her to my house for a sleepover. We were laying in bed, just chatting and stuff before sleeping. The lights were off and we were just giggling and talking about random stuff. All of a sudden she hides under the blankets and is terrified. I ask her, "What's wrong?" She says she sees a man at the end of the bed, and asks me to check. I look and see nothing there. I tell her I don't see anyone. She kind of gets quiet, didn't really talk much for the rest of the night. I shook it off and thought maybe she was just tired and decided to get some sleep myself. As I'm drifting off to sleep, I hear this creepy whispering. It was indistinguishable, but it lasted for minutes. And it kind of freaked me out, so I put a pillow over my ears and tried to reason it as just white noise or my ears ringing. But it was just freaking creepy. The next morning, I get up to use the bathroom. She's still sleeping. I use the bathroom in the hallway and leave the door slightly ajar because I was too lazy to close the door. I see this man, who looks like my grandfather, who lives with me, dressed in white, walk past the door once. Then a few seconds later, walks past the door again towards my parents' room, and I hear the door shut. Now, my grandpa hardly ever goes into my parents' room, so that was already sketchy. And it was weird that he was kind of hovering back and forth like that. I was so sketched out, I walk straight out of the bathroom, not even turning off the lights, and trudge over to my parents' room. I see absolutely no one in there, except my dad snoring away wearing a black shirt. I check the closet, I check their bathroom, nothing. Also, my parents' room is at the very end of the hall, so there are no stairs and no way to exit. So nobody could have gone past me walking towards my parents' room without me 100% running into them. I run downstairs. It's about 10 a.m. at this point, and I ask my mom where my grandpa is. Turns out he has been out all morning at an appointment. I asked her if she's been upstairs in the past 5 minutes. She says she's been downstairs since 7 a.m. I'm obviously freaked out by this point. My friend walks down and I tell her everything that happened. You know what she says? She goes, "Oh, him." I gave her a puzzled look. She explains to me that ever since her get-together with me, I brought him with me, and that he hasn't left her alone since. She also mentioned that the more I hang out with her, the more I'll see things. I noped the heck out of there. Haven't seen her since, although we do still text here and there sometimes. I never saw him again. Many people have had paranormal experiences at the Windsor Hotel in Georgia, and I didn't believe in ghosts when my classmates and I arrived there a couple of years back to stage a musical for the local town. However, I quickly changed my mind that same night. This experience truly changed my perspective on ghosts and the paranormal in general. There were 4 witnesses to these events, including myself, and I promise all of this is true. It's the only ghost story I tell, and one that I've looked back on all these years. So, me and 3 other classmates were actually assigned the haunted hotel room. I don't recall how we found out. I believe we found a newspaper clipping online that referenced our room as haunted. Curious to see if such an old hotel was haunted, it was. Apparently, a mother and little girl died in our room, and the girl's favorite song was "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star." It said they haunt the room. We decided to sing it at midnight, just for kicks. I thought it'd be funny scaring my friends, and there was somewhat of a thrill being in a supposedly haunted room. We sang it at the stroke of midnight 3 times. As soon as we finish the last verse, the entire hotel's World War II style fire alarm goes off, scaring the shit out of all of us. I ran out of my room in my boxers, to be perfectly honest. The firefighters arrived to do a quick check. There was no fire. They claimed the source of the fire originated in our room. The principal believed we were smoking, or we were messing around, but all of us kept trying to convince him that it was the ghost, and I believe it was. Too big of a coincidence that right after we finished the song, the fire alarm goes off in the whole hotel, and that the source of the fire originated in our room. I take this as a coincidence if we didn't sing the song again the next night. We didn't wait for midnight the night after. We sang the song earlier, though it was still dark. This time, we only had to sing the song twice, and we hear a sharp crack. We look around, trying to find what made the noise. My roommate pulls aside the curtain, half the window is cracked in half. This did it for me. I was terrified, and 2 of my roommates were crying. Our teachers didn't allow us to change rooms as the whole hotel was booked anyways. We didn't sing the song again. I believe these events were too coincidental to not be influenced by the paranormal. My math teacher believed the window cracking was due to expanding and contracting in the glass due to fluctuating temperature. I don't buy that, especially since it happened right after we sang the song. I always read all these stories on Reddit. I never thought I would be sharing mine. This actually just happened to me. I'm still quite shook up. A little information first, so you can understand the place and my situation a bit better. I have 2 dogs, a Rottweiler and a Husky. I always walk them around 1 a.m. in the night, because I don't like seeing other people walking their dogs. Other dogs make my dogs go crazy, pulling the leash and such. The area where I live has a 5-kilometer road with a wooded area around it. On the right side of that road is a small passenger's road for bicycles or joggers. I always walk them on that side of the road. The road is fully lit. There are streetlights every 100 meters or so it isn't completely dark. So, I was walking my dogs. It's a normal night. The sky is all cleared up and the moon is shining really bright. No one is usually out here at this time of the night. I was playing Pokemon Go, because there are a lot of rare Pokemon on this road, when suddenly I saw a jogger. I thought this was strange, because like I said, there are no people here at this time. But I shook it off as maybe the jogger does not like to see other people either. The way the jogger was built and dressed, I could tell it was a man. So the man jogs right past me, and I see his phone drops out of his jacket. I picked the phone up and yelled, "Yo, you dropped your phone, man." The guy jogged another 30 meters and then stopped and turned around. He didn't jog back at me, but walked real slowly instead. He had his hoodie up so I could not see his face. I said again, "You dropped your phone, man." But no response from the man while he was still walking towards me. I got a little scared, so I shortened the leash for my dogs and I grabbed my knife from my jacket. I always have a knife on me when I walk my dogs at this time of the night, 'cause, well, you never know. So the man was standing a couple of meters in front of me now. I said, "Here's your phone," and threw it to him. The man caught the phone and lowered his hoodie. Then I saw it. It scared the living shit out of me. He had lowered his hoodie so I looked at him. But the guy had no face. It was see-through. I kid you not, the man had no fucking face. I was freaking the fuck out. My dogs are barking because they saw or smelled that I was sweating balls. I could not believe this was really happening. It looked exactly like that movie with Kevin Bacon, The Hollow Man. I put my knife up with one hand while holding the leashes of my dogs in the other hand. I didn't know what to stab if he would come for me, because I could see right through him. I could not see if his hands were also see-through because he was wearing gloves. So after 20 seconds of me in complete terror and disbelief, the man put his hoodie back up and jogged into the night. I quickly got the fuck out of there. I ran all the way home with my dogs. When I got home, I sat on the couch just thinking of what just happened. I don't smoke, I rarely drink, and don't do drugs. So I know for sure that I was not imagining it. Still, I can't understand why this man was invisible, or at least did not have a face. Was it real? Or was it fake? I don't know if it was a ghost or some experiment gone wrong. Maybe the jogger intentionally dropped his phone, so I'd call for him and he could reveal his face. We really don't know what is out there in this world, and that is what scares me the most. Now that I've calmed down, I'm more curious of what it was than actually scared of it. I don't know if any of you have had this kind of experience, but if you know what this man or thing could be, let me know. I've always had weird things happen to me. I've always felt uneasy in certain places, like something was there that I couldn't see. I go into a lot of abandoned buildings, one in particular an abandoned hotel built in 1888 and rebuilt in 1912 after a fire killed a few people and burnt the hotel down. It's infamous for being haunted, even after its 2008 closing. Guests reported soldiers from the Civil War appearing in their room in the middle of the night. A little boy who died in the fire crying in the top room. Women in dresses marching the lobby at night. I've had many experiences there myself. For about a year or more now, I've had really weird things happen. I've heard demonic growling in my videos. I've had things move. Doors open when I've had friends over. Once on a live stream with my friend Brandon, who has witnessed a lot of this, we had my bedroom door, which was fully shut, open up fully, then close, and nobody else was even in the house. I've had voices saying my name in my videos, and I've had people talking in videos that weren't even there when we were filming. I've heard cats meow in the house when we don't have one. One night when Brandon was staying the night, we had the door locked and woke up to Brandon screaming because the doorknob was violently rattling. Frequently, when I'm alone and turn the lights out to go to bed, and I'll hear footsteps across the carpet. I've had so much else happen too. I constantly feel followed when I'm alone. Well, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed the video, and my voice. Oh, by the way, do you like the new image here? It was put together by one of my best friend's fiancé. who's a very talented artist in her own right. I'll add a link to her channel in the description. Thanks, Iana. Anyway, I don't really have much else to say at the end of this video. Well, I guess I do hope you all have your own personal paranormal encounters very soon. I'm sure it'd be fun, yeah? If it's fear you're after, welcome home.